Right now, your eyes are jumping across this sentence. Small, fast jumps, 3 or 4 every second. During each one of those jumps, you see nothing. Not blur, nothing. Your brain does not show you the jump. It shows you only the stops. This has been happening since you learned to read, thousands of times a day, millions of times a year. You have never seen it happen. Not once. Right now, reading this line, you have already gone blind several times, and you felt nothing. There is a second gap too, one that never closes. It has been sitting in your vision since the day you were born. You are about to find both of them, and you will never watch anything the same way again. The jump itself has a name. Scientists call it a saccade. The blackout that comes with it has a name too. Saccadic suppression, saccadic masking. It is not your eyes failing. It is your brain, on purpose, cutting the feed. 3 to 4 times a second, every waking hour, every day of your life. Vision scientists have called it one of the strangest habits of the healthy human brain. Not a flaw, a policy. It is older than reading, older than screens, older than language. It runs in infants before they can focus on a face. And it is so well hidden that most people go their entire lives without being told it exists. You were never taught this in school. There was no reason to be. You were not supposed to notice. But once, by accident, someone did notice. And what they noticed started with a mirror. Stand in front of a mirror. Look at your left eye. Now look at your right eye. Someone standing next to you would see your eyes jump, clearly, instantly. You will never see it. Not in your own mirror. Not once, no matter how many times you try. Your brain deletes the exact moment it happens from the one point of view that matters most. Yours. In 1668, a French scientist named Edme Mariotte found a second, stranger gap, one that never moves at all. Dissecting an eye, he found a spot at the back with no light-sensing cells whatsoever, a true blank. He calculated where that blank should fall in a person's vision. Then he tested it on a living eye. It worked. He brought the trick to the royal court of Louis XIV. A coin, held just so, would vanish in front of a person's open eye. The nobles were delighted. Rooms full of people, laughing, watching a coin disappear into a hole in their own sight. Which raises the real question. If both gaps are real, why have you never seen either one? Here is what people get wrong first. They assume the eye just blurs when it moves fast, like a camera whipped sideways. That is not what happens. Motion blur is a symptom. This is a decision. Milliseconds before your eye starts to move, your brain sends out a command, not to the eye, to itself. The command says, "Stop listening," and the visual system obeys before the movement has even begun. Researchers tracking this signal found the shutdown starting early, tied to the motor command to move, not to the blur itself. It targets one channel specifically, the one built to detect motion and sudden brightness change. That channel goes quiet. The rest of vision keeps running. You are not blind everywhere. You are blind exactly where the evidence of the jump would show up. A camera cannot do this. A camera records the smear, the streak, the mess. Your brain never lets the mess arrive. It is not compression. It is censorship. Precise, scheduled, and running since before you could talk. Which means the question is no longer whether you go blind. It is how often. Start with the count, somewhere between 100,000 and 180,000 saccades a day. Each one lasts somewhere between 20 and 50 milliseconds, faster than a single blink. Multiply it out and the number gets uncomfortable. Some researchers place the daily blackout near 2 hours. Others, measuring differently, land closer to 30 or 40 minutes. The exact number is still argued. Take the lower estimate, the cautious one, and it still means this. Every day, for half an hour, you see nothing, and you would swear you saw everything. It does not happen in one block, like sleep. It happens in fragments too small to notice missing. A blackout during every page you read. A blackout during every face you scan. A blackout during every room you walk into. None of them announce themselves. None of them leave a mark. None of them slow you down. Which brings back the mirror. Because that gap explains something you have almost certainly done today, without knowing why. Go back to the mirror moment. Left eye, right eye. Nothing seen in between. A friend watching you do it sees the jump easily. Your eyes visibly flick across your own face. Record yourself on video doing the same thing. Play it back. you will see the jump on the screen. But live, in the glass, looking at your own eyes, you cannot catch it. No one can. The suppression does not care that the image is your own reflection. It fires exactly the same, on schedule, regardless of what you're looking at. So the one face you have studied more than any other is also the one movement of that face you are structurally forbidden to see. Everyone else who has ever looked you in the eyes has seen you blink through this jump. You never have. There is a version of your own face that only other people get to witness, the one mid-jump. Which means there is at least one thing about your own eyes that every stranger knows, and you do not. Now the second gap, the one that never moves, never closes, and has been there since before you were born. Try this while the video keeps playing. Close your left eye. With your right eye, look directly at this cross. Somewhere off to the side, there is a dot. Do not look at it directly. Just hold your eye on the cross. Slowly move your head closer to the screen or further away while staring only at the cross. At one exact distance, the dot will vanish completely. Not blurred, not faded, gone. Move a little closer or further, and it reappears. There is one precise spot where it disappears, and it will happen to you every time. That is Mariotte's hole, the same one he showed a room full of nobles 3.5 centuries ago. Notice what filled the space where the dot used to be. Not a grey patch, not a black hole. The background. Whatever pattern surrounded it, unbroken. Your brain did not show you an empty space. It never does. And that is where this gets stranger than a missing dot. Your whole life, you have called this seeing. A clean, unbroken feed, running from the moment you wake up to the moment you close your eyes. It is not a recording. It was never a recording. It is an edit. Cuts removed, gaps papered over, assembled without your permission thousands of times an hour. And the part that should concern you is not the cutting. It is what your brain uses to fill the cuts. Here is what almost everyone assumes, including, until a few minutes ago, you. They assume the brain freezes the last clear image and holds it, like a paused video, until the eye lands again. That is not what the research shows. The gap is not paused. It is not held. It is deleted. And the space left behind does not stay empty for long. Your brain fills it, not with fact, with forecast. Look back at that vanished dot. Your brain did not search for the missing information. There was none to find. It manufactured the surrounding pattern from scratch and handed it to you labeled as real. Texture that was never there, color that was never measured, confidently. The same policy runs during every saccade, thousands of times a day. The brain does not wait for the next frame and splice it in. It predicts the next frame before your eye has even finished landing and swaps the prediction in as if it had arrived through your eyes. Which means the seamless world you are looking at right now is not what your eyes are collecting. It is what your brain expects to be there. Most of the time, the prediction is close enough that you never catch the difference. But close enough is not the same as real. You are not watching the world. You are watching a forecast of it, updated so fast it feels like footage. You did not just go blind several times a second your whole life. You believed a hallucination stitched over every single blackout and called it seeing, which changes what is actually in front of you right now, as you sit here. So look at the room around you right now. It feels continuous, unbroken, a single steady stream. It is not a stream, it is a folder of still frames, with the gaps quietly deleted and repainted faster than you can catch it happening. The face of the person you love most has holes in it, several times a second, every time you look at them. You have never seen a single one. Here is the part that almost no one says next. This is not a defect your brain should have fixed by now. If your brain actually showed you every blackout, every deleted frame, honestly, the world would not feel smooth. It would judder, it would strobe, it would be unusable. A visual system that told the truth about its own gaps would make walking, driving, even reading nearly impossible. So evolution did not remove the gaps, it hid them and build you for a stable world instead. Stability was the priority, accuracy came second. You got a world that works, built out of a world that was never fully there. So go back to the mirror. Left eye, right eye, Somewhere in that half second, your brain cut the feed and quietly handed you a prediction instead. You felt nothing. Find the dot again, the one Mariotte showed, a room full of nobles in the 1600s. Watch it disappear into a hole that has always been in your eye. Everything you are looking at right now, this sentence included, has already passed through both gaps, more than once. So tell me, how many times do you think you just went blind reading this description? Count it and put the number below.